Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, I'm your hostess, and today we're going to be talking about a local legend and local hero, and the man's name was Sheriff Bufford Pusser. Now, I'm going to be getting my information off a website. I will post a link to that in the description box below, but I want to give credit where credit is due. Also, Bufford Hayes Pusser died at age 36. His wife was Pauline Pusser, and they had a fairly decent marriage. It lasted about 18 years when she passed. Bufford was born in December the 12th, 1937 in a little town called Finger, Tennessee. And yes, there is a town called Finger, Tennessee, and it's just a few miles from my house. His father, Carl, was the police chief of Adamsville at one time. Bufford grew up in a middle-class family, like most children during that period of time, and he was very strong and healthy as a child, and he grew and grew and grew, and he was 6'6". While he was in school, he played sports. He played football and basketball. Like most young men, after school, he wanted to join the defense, and he began training for it, and they found out that he had asthma, and he was disqualified. In 1957, he was looking for better career opportunities, and he went to Chicago, Illinois, and became part of the wrestling community there. He was billed as Bufford the Bull, and he met his wife in 1959. They married while he was a wrestler, and he spent another 3 years there before he returned back to his hometown of Adamsville, Tennessee. And he came back and he was working as a constable. During his time there, the McNairy County Sheriff James Dickey died in a freak car accident, which left the position open, and Bufford fought for the election in 1964, and he won the election by a majority, which also made him the youngest sheriff in the county's history. So he had quite a beginning there. During his time as a wrestler, Bufford saw a lot of the mob mentality or mob control in the wrestling community, where they were throwing prize fights and all kinds of money was being passed back and forth. And Bufford didn't like that, so he got out of that wrestling scene. So Bufford had to have had some kind of moral upbringing, and he had some morals. When he became sheriff, McNairy County was considered the worst county in the state of Tennessee. And there was a lot of notorious crime going on. There was two mafias that are named in this article, the Dixie Mafia and the State Line Mob. Both were known to smuggle moonshine, and that moonshine was being transported between Tennessee and Mississippi. And they were creating an atmosphere of fear among the local people, and Bufford went on the offense offense and was battling them. And he became very well known in the mob community that he was a man of his word, and there were several assassination attempts on his life. He did take down a lot of the gang activity. He ran a lot of them out of business, ruined their business, and he always came across as someone that was not afraid. And he was doing his best to work honestly and be brave. Before the year 1967, he had been shot 3 times in separate confrontations and had killed several hitmen that had been hired by the mob to kill him. He was considered a local hero because of that. But on the morning of August 12th, 1967, it turned out to be a very tragic day for him and for his wife. On that August morning, Bufford got a phone call at his home that there was a disturbance taking place not too far from his house. And Bufford was getting ready to leave, and his wife asked to come along, and he was thinking it was probably a domestic disturbance or something small, and so he allowed her to come along. Bufford began to drive the county road towards the location, and a car stopped right beside them, and before Bufford knew what was going on, bullets began to fly, and his wife got hit by bullets and died on the scene. And Bufford received injuries that were pretty severe to his jaw. He received 2 deep bullet wounds to his jaw. It took him 18 days to recover from that. And he promised himself that he would avenge his wife's death. And he carried the guilt of her dying until he passed away. When he came out of the hospital, he named all 4 of the hitters that shot him and his wife on that day. The biggest fish of them all was Kursky McCord Jr., the leader of the Dixie Gang, and he was also named by Bufford as the person who was the mastermind behind the attack and had threatened Bufford several times with death. Kursky was rich and powerful, and he was very hard to bring down. Bufford's wrath was faced by other small fishes who were killed one by one by Bufford. 3 of the other hitmen who attacked Bufford and his wife that day were killed over the next few years without Bufford being convicted. There was never enough proof to prove that he actually committed an assassination. Bufford's term as a sheriff was on a term limit, and in 1970 he went back to being a constable. In 1972 he ran for sheriff, but he was defeated. So from the year 1970 to 1972 he remained a constable. On August 2nd, 1974, Bufford Pusser was driving, and they said he was driving at a very high speed, and his car touched an embankment on the side and caught fire immediately, and he suffered burns and injuries causing his death. His daughter and his mother, however, believed that his death was planned by his enemies, and his memorial service was held at the Adamsville Church of Christ. A lot of people believe that those same mob members were still after him, and he might have been in a high-speed car chase. They may have been chasing him, and he was trying to get away from them. We really will not know probably ever know exactly what happened that day. His death remains a controversy because it took place the same day that he signed a contract with the filmmakers for playing himself in a sequel to the film Walking Tall, and they never did an autopsy on his body. Bufford Pusser is known as an American hero because of the movie Walking Tall, but he was a local hero because he was cleaning up the crime in his community, and he wanted to clean up the crime in his country. He loved his country. He loved his family. The movie depicts his two older children, which were his stepchildren, as being young children, and they were not young. They were either teenagers or young adults at the time that his wife was murdered. And his youngest daughter, Dwana, was actually a child and his only child. She believed her dad was innocent of any wrongdoing, and she also was a very big proponent of his legacy during her lifetime. And she is buried just a couple of graves down from her father and mother. In 1973, the movie Walking Tall became a box office hit, and there were several songs released praising Bufford for his legacy as well, and there have been several biographies written about him. If you haven't watched the movie Walking Tall and its sequel, I would suggest you do. Although it has a lot of fiction in it, it has a lot of truth also, and you can make up your own mind of whether he was a hero or not. In my mind, he was a local hero. My dad thought he was, and I think he is too. Now, my husband and I went to Adamsville, and we went to the cemetery where he is buried and his family's buried, and we took some footage there. We went to his home where his family lived. The house is his museum now. We did not go through the museum. There is a minimal fee of $10 for an adult to go through. We were in a rush that day, so we chose not to go through, but I may do another video on that. And we went to the spot where he was killed, where he died. So you're going to see all that footage at the end of this video, and I will leave the link to thefamouspeople.com that talk about Bufford Pusser's life in the description box. If you find this interesting, please let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't be afraid to talk about people in your area that were famous and heroes. May God bless you.